Game one. Time in. 0-0.
Pablo Tellez is ready to get going versus Jay Devilliers. First serve now underway.
Point.
Number 4 versus number 13 here at the Red Clay Hot Sauce Florida Open on the Carvana PPA Tour.
Side out.
Cameron Irwin alongside Adam Stone. This is just a second round match for these two.
Spicy second round matchup too.
Spicy. Jay Devilliers, originally out of Paris, France. Now in Wichita, Kansas.
slight difference.
Slight variation.
But Jay really just incredibly consistent results. He's always in the mix. He's always, you know.
More than in the mix. You
yes.
look at some of the finishes he's had this year, especially singles too. He had made a final against Federico Staksrud. That was back at the Arizona Grand Slam. So he's got a silver to his name.
I mean, ridiculous cross-court volley from Jay Devilliers. I mean, Pablo Tellez with the fantastic inside-out forehand, and Jay right there with the crisp cross-court volley. Loose error from Pablo on the next ball.
Jay Devilliers telling me that his family constantly tunes in all the way from France. Asked about the time difference. He's like, yeah, it's substantial.
It's substantial.
It's substantial.
Very nice, Jay Devilliers. And Pablo Tellez, he's been playing some really nice singles lately. Definitely a guy kind of on the come up, kind of creeping a little bit deeper into these tournaments every one. So
that's true.
Oh, there you go, Jay. Great ball. And Pablo Tellez with a fantastic stab, but couldn't keep his feet underneath him, and that resulted in a foot fault. You see it right there with the left foot. Referee right on it.
Side out.
Wow, Jay. How do you drop that in, Jay? Fantastic shot. Probably one of the best one-handed backhands on tour. Just a lovely shot for him, and he can go cross-court or down the line with it. Great play from Jay, off to a quick start in this match. Oh, he called it. Oh, it was wide. That's my bad, everyone.
Don't worry, guys. We'll have his eyes checked after this.
That's right. I'm normally decent on the calls, but that one I thought plopped in, but I missed it, so all good.
I just like to give you a hard time.
Hey, I had a pretty good record at that previous tournament, so I'm 0 for 1 right now. So I know you're going to keep
There's
me.
There's a scoreboard somewhere.
Yes, yeah, there is.
4-0.
Right now, the scoreboard reads 4-0 for Jay Devilliers.
Wow.
That's the beautiful thing, taking some pace off.
Yeah, it's just incredible deception. You could see him completely freeze Jay Devilliers and really manipulate that wrist, and just a lovely inside-out forehand from Pablo Tellez. Interesting.
Pablo Tellez, just 27 years old, originally out of Bogota, Colombia. Started playing pickleball back in December of 2019.
4-0.
Good try. That would have been crazy. From that spot, kind of around mid-shin level, to drop that in would have been very difficult, and he could not do it. So Pablo Tellez gets another crack to get on the board.
Side out.
So far, been pretty impressed with Devilliers on some of those volleys. Very crisp in that regard to this point.
Definitely, and he's targeting that Tellez backhand a little bit, and you can understand why when we saw that forehand inside out earlier a couple points ago. So target the backhand with Pablo, and keep him honest occasionally over to that forehand side.
Zero-4.
Pablo Tellez turned into a magician on this point. Behind in the point, and then at the advantage.
My goodness, and I wasn't sure what exactly happened on that last ball, but it was Jay letting it go. He was thinking it might go out, and it did not. Wow, what a point, Cameron.
The best point we've seen so far on this Thursday morning.
Wow, beautiful backhand up the line from a low spot from Pablo Tellez.
And not just a low spot, that was just at the last 3 inches of his paddle. That wasn't even in the sweet spot.
I know, incredible shot up the line from Pablo. Maybe the backhand isn't the target. and Pablo Tellez with just a easy routine first round match against Ross Whitaker, 9-11, 11-7, 13-11. So he is, I hope he's not tired, but he's definitely fresh after a first round matchup like that. A good hold from Jay. Looked really nice, just clipped the tape though. And Jay is so impressive because he has that 6'2", 6'3" wingspan,
yeah,
but his movement and his footwork is phenomenal as well. There's not a whole lot of tall guys in that 6'3" plus range that have the footwork like Jay does. Mr. Vulcan, Jay Devilliers.
I was going to make a joke about the jawline like James Ignatowicz, but I decided to lay off.
Wow, there's the hook from Pablo Tellez. Phenomenal shot, and he really just holds it. We always talk about that hold. The longer you hold it, the more difficult it is to execute the shot, but it's harder for your opponent to read. So phenomenal job from Pablo, able to execute and freeze Jay Devilliers in the middle of the court.
I imagine to be able to hold, you have to get there and anticipate that much earlier. Am I wrong on that regard?
Absolutely. So the footwork is the most important thing, and anticipation is footwork. They're no different. So I think that's so important. The feet are just crucial. Sometimes they get forgotten. It's not a stroke. We're hitting with our arm. We're using our arm. Use your feet, use your core, use your lower body. That sets everything up.
Side out.
There's that reach you mentioned of Jay Devilliers.
Yeah, short stroke, lots of power on the short stroke. Always a great combination.
4-5.
What was that? I thought he was going to go to the backhand side of Jay Devilliers.
That's a double jointed wrist. That's what that is. I mean, absolutely. Everyone thought he was going there, including Jay. How could you not when the body and paddle setup is like that?
And a double jointed shoulder.
Point.
And a great job from Pablo Tellez, down 4-0. Just creeping back into this match, and now with a 6-4 lead.
Side out.
And again, I go back to the storyline. Jay Devilliers right now is doing a solid job up at the kitchen line. Look at some of these volleys, just really crisp on the contact, very explosive on both the backhand and the forehand side. Speaking of crisp volleys.
That's right. Both fellas, a nice job with the short strokes right now. So
yeah,
they obviously both have really good ground strokes back at the court. So lots of power there. So the short stroke, when you are at the kitchen, use their pace against them is definitely the best strategy. And both fellas executing nicely right now up at the kitchen.
Ooh, looping that ball back in bounds. Bend it like Jay Devilliers?
Yeah, that's the saying, right? That's the saying. Bend it like Jay Devilliers. I like that. I mean, that's some Sports Center stuff right there. That's a complete banana ball.
Ooh, and bending it the opposite way off the backhand.
Nice job. And when I say banana ball, I mean that ball was in the green. It was out until it landed. So to curl that ball to where Pablo had no shot to get it and drop it in the corner, incredible play from Jay Devilliers.
Flying Pablo Tellez.
Yeah, so that's flying Colombian. We have the flying Frenchman. So, I mean, come on. Why not? I mean, absolutely perfect. Tough for Jay there. Slight miss hit off of the let tape. a little late getting forward, and Pablo Tellez with a great read on the Ernie.
Wow, that was just impressive for Tellez to get one of those back.
Yeah, you can see Tellez not interested in dropping that ball at all. He is letting it fly from the back of the court, and that's what I expected.
It's 5-6. Side out.
Just a half a step to his left. Created just enough.
Yeah, really, both players just really nice lateral movement at the
Yeah.
kitchen. So, I mean, it's just that quick first step, that little spring left or right. Both players really on point with that right now.
Side out.
Pablo Tellez just barely losing his balance on that cross-court backhand attempt. Put it in the net, and ball back over to Jay.
5-6.
Wow, what a setup for Pablo Tellez and the close.
Yeah, some of Pablo's deception, and we talked about the wrist manipulation from him.
Yeah.
But it's also kind of just the way he lines up his body. It kind of, whether it's his shoulders or his hips, there's just a lot of deception and a lot of things to get his opponents out of rhythm. So very nice job from Pablo early in this match. I'm impressed with his play so far.
So it's 6-5. They've been knotted up in terms of trading side outs at this point. They're going to take some time away from the court, figure out who's going to have the advantage.
Server, 1 timeout. Fever, 2 timeout.
Back and forth they have gone. Jay Devilliers versus Pablo Tellez. 6-5 right now. Tellez on top. Also maintains the serve. Oh, make it 7-5. Steals that one off the ground.
What a kamikaze come in there from Pablo Tellez. Just, I mean, how many has it been? 3 or 4 right off his shoe tops. Phenomenal job and some execution from a very low position with some of these shots. Pablo Tellez with a 2-point lead.
And again, you're seeing the pattern. He's trusting his third and closing on the 5th.
Absolutely right. That one a little easier than the previous shot,
Yes.
but 2 great points there from Pablo coming forward with a lot of aggression.
What in the world?
You have got to stop that. That is unbelievable from a full stretch to not put that up the line, but put that cross court. Pablo Tellez on fire right now.
Lightning quick hands from the half volley for Pablo Tellez. Just wild play for the 13 seed. Jay Devilliers is like, all right, enough's enough. 5-9 now.
I mean, it's kind of similar to that Zane Navratil match. So we had the quick start from Jay Devilliers, but there's a little stretch where both Jay and Rafa Hewitt, I'm not sure what they can do right now in that situation. So all you can do is weather the storm, hope that your opponent cools off a little bit, and then move forward from there with your own game. So a tough situation to be in. And Cameron, I'm not sure if you fans at home heard, but we definitely heard some Julian Arnold yells from another court, and I think the reason why is because he defeated Ryler DeHart 11-7, 14-12 in the second game. So you know that was a tight one in the second game, and we heard the Andiamos from a couple courts away.
Imagine if that had gone 3, it'd be like they were playing 3 out of 5.
Yeah,
Just
absolutely.
So many different games. 9-5 now. Again, Pablo Tellez is looking for expedited points, and he's finding them.
And it's just too good because the previous 2 times he came in hot from that exact same position, he pushed his forehand up the line, and that time he takes it cross court. He is putting it on all the spots right now.
Pablo Tellez, the backhand is just electric right now.
Game 11-5.
That's game number 1. Tellez just played beautifully.
Yeah, my goodness. Yeah, I mean, you could see it on Jay's face at the end of that game one in his body language. It was kind of that, I mean, what am I supposed to do in this situation? And I briefly described what he should do earlier, but my goodness, just too much Pablo Tellez right now.
Well, we're going to get some more Pablo Tellez here on Championship Court. Pablo Tellez versus Jay Devilliers on Championship Court. That was a wild first game. Pablo Tellez taken down the number 4 seed, 11-5 in the first.
Too good a good. I mean, let's be clear, Cameron. Jay did not play poorly.
No.
So we are not always able to give the credit to someone playing well. Sometimes it's someone collapsing. That is not the situation we're in right now. There you go, good volley. Nice little fist pump.
You have to be able to make the most of your opportunities too. You know, so often it's hard. You can't necessarily always just say, well, I hope they cool off. You have to find some sort of a solution. So my next question after this is going to be, where did you feel like Pablo Tellez maybe attacked to be able to have so many opportunities on the 5th ball?
Yes, that is the thing. It was a combination of the power of his ground strokes and the dip. So he feels like if he's getting that spin and forcing Jay to be neutral or hitting up on the ball, kamikazing in, coming in hot is the play, because he's going to get something waist or above. But the thing is, when Jay has been neutralizing that spin and catching Pablo lower in his body, he's still coming up with the shots. So it's a very, very difficult situation right now. But if anyone could come out of this, it's Jay. There you go. It could even be just an error. It doesn't even necessarily have to be Jay making some spectacular shots. Just a little cool off from Pablo, and then the energy goes back to Jay, who is a huge energy player and really feeds off the crowd, his partners in doubles, and the energy he gives himself in singles, Cameron.
No, I love that. It was just interesting, too, because those third shots from Pablo Tellez, you're going, well, where's the pattern? Again, right there. I think it's hitting the spot in terms of making him try to outstretch. You mentioned the depth, or excuse me, the dip of the ball. Here's a good look at one.
Yeah, and sorry, after this point. And that's what I was mentioning. It's not like as if he's dropping his thirds, but he is not giving a max effort. So it's almost like he is giving a little bit of power to gain more spin and more control, and it's working well for him right now.
He's working with that one-hand backhand, too.
It's right in there, and I mean, this is a big deal. You can see that body language from Jay, and it's not really negative. It's almost a little bewildered right now.
Point. Timeout receiver.
Jay right there.
5-2.
Looking for the body blow, as Pablo in the middle of the court, hoping he would guess playing at the middle of the court at Pablo's body, but overcooks it for about 2 feet. So basically more of the same here, Cameron, in game 2, as we have Pablo Tellez up 5-2 after winning game 1 11-5 after being down 4-0. So we are on a very, very serious run from Pablo Tellez right now in the point differential, and just too good.
Well, and it's interesting. I look back at some of the archival data that I do have at my hands, and it looks as if these two have only faced off just once before, and it actually did go Pablo Tellez's direction, 11-5, 11-6. That was back in 2022 at the Baird Wealth Management Texas Open. So playing, of course, 2 out of 3, but Pablo Tellez might go up 2-0 over Jay Devilliers.
Right, and I think it's maybe a testament that I would have expected that they had played a couple more times than once. So maybe that is one of the reasons why some of Pablo's deception is working so well, is that they have only played that one time. Often when a player is quality deception at their disposal, the more you see them, the easier it is to handle.
Side out.
Yeah, there it is. There's that positive energy from Jay. He needs that. I really like to see that from him. And that's what it's going to take, is some of that fire to get back in this thing.
can't overrule it.
Jay clearly thinking that ball is inbounds. Pablo Tellez calling that ball wide. The call stands.
Jay gave him the triple no. No.
5-2.
Maybe should have given him the quadruple.
That's tough with the guarantee. Fair.
Side out.
Yeah, I think we were a little blocked from that guaranteed rate sign that Pablo Tellez just hit on that last point with the backhand up the line attempt. So the ball trajectory looked like it was going wide, but tough for us to see.
Side out.
And just a little tidbit for the fans at home, we will have challenge replay available from the quarterfinals on in this tournament.
5-2.
This is just a second round match. Important to know.
Great deception from Pablo Tellez, really getting those hands in close to his body to get inside of the ball and push it out of that wingspan from Jay. Hey, that'll help. It's always nice.
Well, and I will say, too, I think there's something to be said about a call that maybe you thought was in or out. If you're talking about building energy, sometimes you need something to get angry at.
Sure.
Maybe that's going to help Jay here.
2-6.
Jay not happy with any of those.
Yeah.
All lofted up a bit.
Yeah, high drop for sure from Jay, throwing his hands up. But yes, I know a lot of players that you don't want to get rattled because they play better, and some that it's the complete opposite.
Side out.
There we go, Jay. Nice cross-court one-handed backhand. One of the best in the game at that cross-court one-hander.
Now he's got to find a third.
2-6.
Nice play by Jay. It's been interesting. They've had a couple of these headed up battles on the backhand side for Tellez there, as well as for Jay Devilliers, going backhand to backhand. This time, Jay gets the better of him.
Yeah, nice pattern, nice combination. About 3 or 4 shots there from Jay, and once again finished with that cross-court backhand rip.
Side out.
And it looks like Jay might be going a bit more on that forehand up the line on the third shot.
Yeah, and that's 0 for 2 for Jay going at the body. He cooked one long earlier, and that one, nice hands from Pablo Tellez. A common, you see mostly going to space in singles, but occasionally when those players are leaning really hard to their right or left, you can catch them into the body, but Tellez ready for that one.
Side out.
Nice job from Jay getting that backhand up the line. Obviously, Tellez is going to be leaning a little to his left when Jay gets a backhand because it's so good on that cross-court side. So to switch up his patterns there was a nice job from the Frenchman.
3-6.
He's looking a lot more, again, to that third shot to the forehand side of Tellez here in game 2.
Nice job from Jay. Little energy, too. Some really nice stab volleys from Pablo at early portions of that point.
4-6.
But Jay, too much.
I like it, the change of pace. Oh, and he leaves it. The leave and land,
yeah, and
never fun.
Yeah, and it's not, it was pretty clear with his wingspan he could have hit that. He pulls the paddle back, so it wasn't out of reach. And where that ball was, kind of with Jay's sight line, I like the leave, just a miss hit from Pablo.
Side out.
And this is one of the first fifths we have seen Tellez miss from his shoelaces. He is human.
Yes, right. Phenomenal reach from Jay to get that cross court because he was at the full stretch. So great first volley from Jay, and he's got a little something going here.
Side out.
I think this got too tight to his body.
Timeout server.
Yeah, definitely.
6-4.
Oh, okay, so we have Pablo Tellez going with the timeout at 6-4 offensive timeout, Cameron.
So 6-4. He's going to look and see if he can try and slow down Jay Devilliers here in this timeout. Welcome back to the Carvana PPA Tour. Cameron Irwin alongside Adam Stone. Jay Devilliers on the court, along with Pablo Tellez. They've made game 2 awfully interesting. Pablo Tellez just took an offensive timeout, and it's worked as he is now up 7-4.
7-4. Side out.
Misserve from Pablo Tellez. I think he was questioning that real fast.
4-7.
Oh, the Ernie from Jay Devilliers. Again, it's so interesting because you've got a lefty versus a righty, so that backhand to backhand battle is just really fun to watch.
Great read, phenomenal athleticism from Jay.
And another stroke from Jay Devilliers.
I mentioned it, cross-court backhand, pretty legit, and we have a 1-point game, and the Frenchman with some momentum and some energy.
6-7.
Make it 7-all. Again, that third shot drive to the forehand side of Tellez.
And a little taste of his own medicine. Jay came in hot.
On the fifth.
He came in hot after that drive as well, so.
And this is what we saw actually in game 2, kind of got him back in. So he goes with the third shot drive up the line, then worked with the cross court to the backhand. Both of the backhands he has missed, though, in terms of the shot following that.
Gotcha.
It hasn't worked in his favor. But I still think there's something to be said about keeping your opponent off balance as that ball's called out of bounds.
Very close from my perspective.
Which is also mine.
Yes, from our perspective. I apologize.
No, I'm just being silly.
Oh, man, that's close.
7-7.
Pablo Tellez welcomes him in, and usually you'd say, uh-oh, but he knew exactly what he was doing.
Right, so, yeah, drop shotting an athletic 6'3" Frenchman, maybe not the overall long-term strategy, but it worked very well on that point, so.
I don't know if the Frenchman part had anything to do with it, but still nonetheless.
Just throwing it in there.
Whoa, heads up.
Yeah, very nice, controlled volleys, balanced, nothing too much in terms of the swing or the movement from Jay controlling that kitchen line, and he's rewarded with the point.
Now he's rewarded with the point, 8-7.
Rewarded with the side out, and then now the point. Here we go.
I missed you, Adam.
Yeah, this is a big sequence here for Pablo Tellez. Jay getting some rhythm. Game 3 might be a different animal.
Side out.
Side out here for Pablo Tellez. He's got to make some moves as he's putting his hands up into the air, or loses that ball.
Yeah, taking a little time here. The offensive timeout, a little towel off, so just getting his wits about him, coming up with a couple shot game plan, see if he can retake the lead. That's a good start to retaking the lead with a phenomenal inside out forehand. And you can see once again, Cameron, didn't matter. He was coming in hot afterwards. There is no hesitation from Pablo Tellez after that third shot drive.
And he goes back to back out of the middle there.
9-8.
Another point for Pablo Tellez.
That's right, an instant timeout from Jay Devilliers. Can't blame him for that.
A doozy of a game number 2 between Pablo Tellez and Jay Devilliers. Tellez with the serve. Jay anticipating very nicely here, staying to that backhand side, gets the ball back.
Pablo Tellez with that initial drive head high, and I think it was a very good decision by Jay to hit it because he had a ton of topspin on that ball.
Down by 1 now. And that's where he's found success again on the outstretched forehand of Pablo Tellez.
Yeah, and I wonder, you know, that could be a few things. The quality of Jay's shot. Maybe it's Pablo trying to protect his backhand a little bit.
Nearly had the miracle shot.
And he actually had the angle, and Jay, one of the best in the game at those full stretch ATPs. He's had more than a couple highlight reel shots in that exact same situation. Couldn't come up with that one, though.
9-9.
9-all. Caught him going the opposite direction.
That's right. One of the few drops off the third shot we've seen, too. So a nice adjustment, nice mix-up from Pablo Tellez. And his up-the-line forehand, unbelievable. Just really on point. To keep it out of the reach of Jay Devilliers is very difficult, and Pablo is doing that with consistency in this match.
That was a look at a potential match point for Pablo Tellez, but a much-needed side out for Devilliers here.
9-10.
Wow, I think Tellez took one that could have been going long. That ball was high.
Yeah, I'm not sure Jay hit it as perfectly clean, but I think that ball was still going to sail wide. I mean, sail long, I apologize. And then Jay Devilliers with the big finish. And we're 10 apiece, Cam.
Must win by 2. A little bit of a, I think, a miss hit here, but still nonetheless, Pablo Tellez gets the ball back.
Yeah, great ball. Kind of similar to the... kind of similar to that previous ball, maybe 6 inches lower than the one before, but very nice full stretch volley on the backhand side from Pablo.
Ten. Point.
Jay Devilliers had the look.
Yeah, that's a tough one.
That hurts.
It does, but you can really see some of these shots with the paddle technology, Cameron. You didn't see a lot of balls 3, 4, 5 feet over the net landing a few years ago, and now they are.
And Pablo Tellez with the victory over Jay Devilliers. Wow, 12-10 for Tellez.
Phenomenal job. I really thought he was going to cool off at some point, and I think Jay raised his level a little bit in game 2, but Pablo Tellez throughout the match, incredible offense, incredible play. Congratulations to him moving on to the quarterfinals.
Pablo